Hi, Kingsley artists. This week we're going to talk about portraits and self portraits. And then we're also going to look at one of the studio habits of mind, which is express. So, first up, what is a portrait? Well, a portrait is an artwork, a drawing, a painting, a collage, a photograph that shows a person. It could be one person, it could be two people in this portrait. Traditional portraits are mostly like their shoulders and up for their head, but it could be your whole body too. So if a portrait is a drawing, a painting, an artwork of another person, then a self-portrait is an artwork, a drawing, a painting, a picture of yourself. So a portrait is drawing somebody else, and a self-portrait is when you draw or paint your own self. I put a lot of different examples up on this page. So some have the picture of the artist standing by the portrait that they painted of themselves. Some have the self-portrait out of a little bit different material. There's the one with a banana for a nose and holding a hot glue gun, and all different things. So even here in this self-portrait of Van Gogh, you can see that he's holding his paint palette and paintbrushes in his hand in the front. So when we're doing portraits or self-portraits, one thing that I want you to be thinking of and that we're going to practice doing in this project is expressing something about the person in the portrait. So for express, I can learn to create words that convey an idea, a feeling, or a meaning. So when we look at some of these example portraits from students, what do you think they are expressing in their portraits? They have their heads drawn, their faces, their eyes, their nose, their lips, their hair. But then all of these portraits also have some additional stuff to express something about them. So some of them have their favorite food or favorite sports. I am betting that this guy loves space and learning about the planets. This is actually a portrait drawn of one of the students' friends by the artist. So all of these are expressing about that artist or about that person in the portrait. I have a few more examples of some ideas. So you could do a portrait of some of your favorite things. So maybe you really love Legos and you could draw yourself as a Lego person, or the Lego person of what your favorite sports teams are, or whatever it might be to show and express about the person in the portrait. My last couple idea pages for you are expressing more things about them in kind of fun ways. So you could do a pet portrait showing one of your favorite animals. You could do a superhero portrait. What would be your superhero power? Or, if you are drawing your great Uncle Billy, what would his power be? Or even a minion portrait or a portrait as your favorite cartoon character. Something like that could be a lot of fun. So your steps today is drawing a portrait. Could be a portrait of somebody else, of your family member. It could be a self-portrait and drawing yourself. But I want you to add a lot of details to express and show about that person in the portrait. Does that person love watching football and they're wearing their favorite football team jersey? Does that person in the portrait love animals and they're surrounded by all of their cats and dogs and favorite animals? Or, hey, does that person love Legos? So I drew them as a Lego figure and what they would look like as a minifigure. So think about some fun things to express and show about that person in the portrait. Last, you're going to color in using whatever materials you have at home that are available for you to use. All right, I added one last page with the Lego figure kind of blank. So if you're going for the Lego figure person, here's a blank idea for you to look at. not to trace, but to look at and be able to work from. Okay. All right. I hope that you have fun with this project idea and show me what you have as well. So keep creating, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you do.